Hey, mahal everyone, welcome back again to the Broadway Saiyan YouTube channel. I am your host 40 and we are back with another video on Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia, focusing on the global version of Opera Omnia. In today's video, I'm bringing you guys part 7 of my video series, Weapon Passives, 15 CP versus 35 CP. So let's go ahead and move forward with the video. So again, friendly reminders when watching this series, it is intended to help newer players and free-to-play players understand which weapon passive can best help a character function in the event that you do not have both of those weapons passives on the character. It'll also help you understand which weapon passive would be more ideal for a budget build, as newer players and free-to-play players will not always have every weapon released in their inventory. This is again not going to cover the World of Illusions event 15 CP weapons such as Cloud's 15 CP Crimson Edge, Bartz's 15 CP Noir Caliber, as those weapons do not directly impact the character abilities and are definitely more situational for the most part. And also, this is not going to be covering the EX weapons, as for one, we don't have them out yet in global, and when we do get them, I'm going to be saving them for another series. And also something that I want to remind you guys of, I'm going in order of the character releases as far as global wise. So there's a specific order that I'm doing each of these videos for this video series. So the first character we're going to discuss in part 7 is going to be Shadow from Final Fantasy VI. So taking a look at his two abilities, he has Shadow Stealth, which raises his own brave by 20% of whatever his brave is at before he deals HP damage. It also gives him a self buff of small speed up for 3 turns, and then he's also going to be getting that 40% attack up for 8 turns if he KOs his target with this ability, and this ability also has a high turn rate. His second ability is called Wild Throw. So this is a 3-hit range brave attack with random power. So the damage modifier on this ability, it varies since it is random. So all 3 hits are either going to deal 30%, 50%, or 60%, so it's going to be anywhere from 120% to 180% total damage. Now, taking a look at the weapon passives that he has available to him from his 5-star weapons. The first one is going to be his 15 CP Fuma Shuriken passive, so this is going to be increasing that brave gain to now 40% of whatever his current brave is, and then that 40% attack up that he gets if he KOs an enemy with Shadow Stealth is going to be extended to 10 turns. Now, his 35 CP Pinwheel passive is something that we don't have yet, but he's going to be getting it soon when that Rydia event comes out within a few weeks for global. So this is going to be giving his Wild Throw usage an additional usage, and it's also going to be lowering the action delay. It's also going to be increasing that random damage output. So now each of those 3 hits will either deal 100%, 110%, or 120% for anywhere from 300% to 360% total damage. So it's essentially doubling the amount of damage that his Wild Throw does. He's also going to be self-buffing himself 60% max brave for 10 turns, and then his brave attack is going to change to a throw command when he either breaks an enemy using this ability or when he's already using this ability on a broken target. So what is my verdict between these two weapon passives? So while his 15 CP enables his HP only damage ability to give more brave, I really do feel like he needs that 35 CP passive to give him better brave shaving options. So if you're a fan of Shadow and you have none of these weapons, and let's say you get his 35 CP, for me personally, that's going to be the more useful passive if you're on a budget build, because it gives him more brave shaving options, so that way you can build up his brave, and then afterwards you could just use Shadow Stealth the next turn right after, and even if you don't have the 15 CP, you're still going to be dealing that maximum amount of HP damage with him. The next character we're going to be talking about is going to be Squall. He was our first event character in global. So his 2 abilities are Solid Barrel and Solid Barrel Plus. It's going to be a 4-hit melee brave attack. The damage modifier is 120%. However, it does change to a 5-hit melee brave attack with a damage modifier being at 180%. It also grants him a 40% initial brave up for 5 turns. The Plus version, as we all know, is only active when his brave is less than 250% of his initial brave. His ability 2 is called Renzo Kuken, and then there's a Renzo Kuken Plus. So initially it's a 3-hit melee brave plus HP attack. The damage modifier total is 60%. However, when it's at its Plus version, it's going to be a 6-hit melee brave plus HP attack with a total damage being at 120%. And again, same deal. Plus version requires that brave to be less than 250% of his initial brave. His 15 CP Twin Lance passive increases his solid barrel and its plus version damage output. So now his normal version is going to be dealing a total of 140%, with his plus version dealing a total of 230%. And then his 35 CP Cutting Trigger passive increases his Renzo Kuken and its plus version damage output. So now the regular version is now doing 100% total, and then the other one is going to be doing 200%. And this time he also gives himself a self buff of 20% max Brave Up and 30% attack up to himself for 5 turns. So what is my verdict on which passive is better? So when Squall was first released, he proved to be a very powerful Brave Shaver with just that 15 CP alone, and he still can be. However, his 35 CP really ramps up his damage output, especially because of those 2 self buffs that he gives to himself, and having that HP attack triggering after he deals the Brave damage with Renzo Kuken is definitely more valuable. So he can definitely function with just his 15 CP, but having a 35 CP just makes him that much better. So a little bit of an edge there for the 35 CP. Now the next character is going to be Vanille, our second event character that we got in Global. Her 2 abilities are Deep Protect. So Deep Protect is a one-hit non-elemental magic Brave attack with a damage modifier of 50%. It also inflicts a 40% defense down for 2 turns on the target. Her second ability is Dispel. This is also a one-hit non-elemental magic Brave attack. The damage modifier on this is only 30%. However, she does dispel 1 buff from the target. Her 15 CP Physician's Staff passive increases Deep Protect's damage output, so now it's at 80%. That 40% defense down is going to be extended to 3 turns, and now she's also going to be inflicting a 10% attack down for 3 turns as well. Her 35 CP Hunter's Rod passive increases Dispel's damage output, so now it's at 140%. It also changes it to being an AoE Brave attack now, and this time it dispels 3 buffs from each target. It also grants Brave based on 80% of the Brave damage dealt that she deals by Dispel. So what is my verdict on these 2 passives? So her 15 CP passive did allow her to soften up enemies fairly well, which helped out our DPS damage dealers. However, that 35 CP overall wins hands down for its AoE damage and Brave battery mechanics it provides, because it's now dealing damage to every single target, and then it also has a support mechanic of providing Brave to our party. The last character we're going to discuss is Setzer, our third character event that we got in Global. So his first ability is Freeze Joker, a very unique ability that is a one-hit non-elemental AoE magic Brave attack with a damage modifier of 110%. This allows him to inflict the freeze status for 2 turns, where an enemy cannot gain Brave while they are under the status ailment. His ability 2 is called Red Card, so this is going to be his 9-hit range Brave attack. The damage modifier total is 270%. It also grants him a 20% max Brave up to himself for 2 turns. That 15 CP Death Tarot passive is also going to be granting 20% max Brave up to all of the party members for 3 turns when he uses Freeze Joker. It does keep the damage modifier on Freeze Joker remaining at 110% though. His 35 CP Darts also increases his Red Card's damage output, so now it's going to be at a total of 288%, and it's going to be delaying the target by 1 turn, kind of like Ishtola's Stone ability. So my verdict on Setzer: both passives, for me, are equally as good here for Setzer, as they both give him great utility. However, because there are better max Brave up buffers, I feel his 35 CP will still slightly edge out, as it gives him a little bit more value because it ramps up the damage of his Brave Shaving ability, his better Brave Shaving ability, and then that delay is just really awesome. But if you just happen to have his 15 CP, he's still pretty good just with that alone. Alright guys, well this is going to be it for part 7 of my video series, Weapon Passives 15 CP versus 35 CP. Hopefully you guys, especially newer players, found this video useful. If you did, consider hitting that subscribe button, making sure to give this video a like if you did like it, and also turn on that notification bell if you are subscribed, so then that way you guys don't miss out when I put out a new video. Alrighty guys, my name is 40 the Broadway saying stay tuned for the next video, and mahal everyone.